Hi, this is JR, the Texpat in Saigon. Today we're going to talk about a subject that a lot of people are interested in on YouTube, and that's wristwatches. I'm kind of an aficionado of watches and have been for the last 30 or 35 years, but things changed for me when I retired and moved to Vietnam. Here in Saigon, there's authorized dealers for all the major brands. You can buy Rolex, Omega, Chrono Swiss, Blancpain, all kinds of watches here, all new and all from authorized dealers. What we're going to talk about today is how you go about buying used watches in Saigon. Lots of people here are interested in watches. There's lots of secondhand shops. There's a lot of fashion watch shops, and there's, of course, the authorized dealers. What I want to talk about is how you can find and locate a good secondhand watch. I bought several here. I bought a SARB 033 Seiko, which is a really nice watch. Not an expensive watch, but a nice watch. I bought a couple of others here too, mostly Orient, and I've had really good luck. There's a couple of good websites for watch aficionados. My favorite one is called Handheld, handheld.com.vietnam. Take a look at it. There's a lot of stuff on there. You'll see the quality of watches that are available here in Vietnam. One of the biggest problems here is not finding a watch, but it's finding a watch that's the right size for you. Vietnamese people are small and their wrists are small, and they tend to wear smaller, dressier watches and not really go for the diver and sport watches that the Westerners go for. So finding a watch like a Rolex Submariner or a GMT Master or something like that, it's pretty difficult. Even the large Seiko divers and things are not so popular. Mostly you'll see a little bit dressier, a little bit fancier, and a little bit smaller watches here. If you're going to buy a watch from an individual, I'd certainly make sure that the watch is genuine. Vietnam's real close to China, and there's a lot of copies around here of all kinds of watches. There's even copies of fake Seikos, which is kind of surprising because Seikos are really not that expensive watch to start with. If you're going to buy an expensive watch, I'd certainly take it to a reputable repair shop or the authorized dealer to get it authenticated. I've seen a couple of fake watches here, and some of them are pretty good. It'd be hard to tell the difference unless you really are knowledgeable. I'll put the name of a watch shop in the description below, that if you ever are here and need to buy a watch, you can take it there and get it authenticated. I've used these guys for repairs, and they're really good and really professional. They also sell high-end brands. So my advice to everyone is to make sure you're getting an authentic watch and not a Chinese knockoff. In this video, I'll also show some of the watches I bought secondhand, and you can see that they're pretty nice. Every one I've bought so far, it comes complete with box and papers and everything. I haven't bought any that were bare bones, so to speak. If you're going to meet an individual seller, it's really easy here. There's coffee shops everywhere. You can meet them in a coffee shop and inspect the watch. From an individual, you're not going to get a warranty, but you should get a good price. That's another thing that you have to consider here. The blender's running. It's really fun to go out and meet other watch collectors. I really enjoyed that. This is the first watch that I bought secondhand here in Vietnam. It's a SARB 033, and when I bought it, it was in pretty nice condition. There was one little scratch on it. Of course, now that I've had it, there's a lot more scratches on it because I wear my watches. But this has been a great watch. The boy that I bought it from, he was young. He was in his early 20s, and he was also a watch collector. He was selling this watch because he had eyed another watch that he liked and was going to buy it. So this was a good buy for me and a good sale for him. It's a nice watch. One of the things that makes buying a secondhand watch so attractive here is the fact that new watches are expensive. The government adds a 30% duty approximately, and also a 10% VAT tax to your watch. So the watches here new sell for more than the manufacturer's suggested retail price. If I buy a new watch, I usually will go to Malaysia or go to Singapore to buy that. If I'm going to buy a secondhand watch, I usually buy it from an individual. Buying from a dealer here does have its advantages. Most dealers will give you a 7-day return policy with a 30-day warranty, or some even longer. So from that standpoint, buying from a dealer could be an advantage, but you might pay more for it too. This is a Orient retrograde, Orient Star. I bought it here too, and saved quite a bit of money off the retail price. This watch I actually bought from a vendor that's kind of a boutique vendor. He has a business at home. He doesn't have a store. But the watch I got was perfect, and it came with the box. Here's the box and all the paperwork and everything. So I was really satisfied with this purchase. And this is turned out to be really a fantastic watch. It's so accurate. It's a little hard to set, but once it's set, it runs great. I usually browse Handheld, find a couple of watches I'm interested in, and then set up meetings with the owners. Typically, we try to find a coffee shop about halfway in between and get on our scooters and head that way. I bought this watch for a fun watch to use when I'm riding my motorbike. I have a tan one like this also. I bought it new at Galley Watch here in Saigon, actually at Big C near my house. I liked it so much, I decided I'd like to have a black one when I ride my motorbike. I can see it really great. The face is amazing, and I really love this little watch. It's just a nice one. It comes on a leather bracelet, but I put this engineer bracelet on it because leather just doesn't last long here in this tropical climate. I really don't like NATO straps, so the only alternative for me really is either a rubber strap or one of these stainless straps. One of the problems around here too is Frankenwatches. There's a lot of dealers that will put together watches, especially old Omegas and things like that, from pieces and parts. Personally, I just stay away from those. I try to buy contemporary watches secondhand and stay away from the vintage watches. If I'm going to buy a vintage watch, I'll try to buy it from a U.S. dealer and have it shipped over. Even paying the higher duty, you're going to get a better watch. There's a lot of watch dealers here in Vietnam that are authorized dealers. There's one in a Big C right near my house called Galley Watch. Galley Watch is a dealer for Zenith. They're a dealer for Chrono Swiss, and several of the big name Swiss watches. They also sell Orient and Seiko, which I'm really a fan of the Seiko and Orient watches. I especially like the Orient Star watches. They're really nice. I haven't been lucky enough to get one, and it's just an excellent watch, and it's so accurate it kind of blows me away. Usually you expect a watch of that caliber to be a 15 or 20 second a day off watch, and this one's about 2 seconds a day. It's really accurate. As a matter of fact, all my Orient watches, I think I've got like 5 now, all of them are very accurate, and most of them within 4 seconds a day. I also buy some used camera equipment around here too, mainly for my YouTube projects. It's kind of the same thing. From the dealers you can get a warranty, from the individuals you usually don't. But there are a lot of little boutique sellers. Maybe they specialize in Nikon or Canon or certain types of cameras. I found them to be really, really good. The camera I'm filming this on is a little Sony that I bought from a place called Ken's Cameras. Ken was a great guy. He offered a warranty, a 7-day exchange, and a 90-day warranty on the camera. And the camera's been perfect. It was exactly as he represented it. It can save you some money, and you'll get a nice product and have an interesting adventure meeting new people and learning about their interest in watches or cameras or whatever. It's always interesting to meet people that have the same interest as yours. if they're interested in watches and you're interested in watches, or they're interested in cameras, or they sell cameras, it's nice to meet those people. I think buying from the big stores is really safe. The authorized dealers here, of course, in District 1 offer the highest quality watches and, of course, the highest quality prices too. You're going to find some of the smaller dealers offer a little less expensive watches, but they're all new and they're all branded and they're the original watch. So that's a good deal. If you start dealing with individuals, you can run into some fake watches, and that's a good thing to avoid those. You definitely can run into the Frankenwatches, and I hope anybody coming to Vietnam looking for bargains on old Omegas and old military watches and things like that, don't think that they're getting the real thing, because you're either getting a Chinese copy or you're getting a Frankenwatch. There's a lot of military paraphernalia and things from the war times here that's fake. So you definitely want to stay away from the watches and things like that that come from that era. Even Zippo lighters are fake, so stay away from it. Buy from individuals that have an interest in watches, and more than likely you'll get a good watch. If you have a chance to visit Vietnam, I wouldn't advise coming here looking for deals on watches. I don't think it's a really great place to shop. You'll probably find better deals in Malaysia or Singapore. The populations are larger and they're more international, and you're more likely to find a brand or style of watch that you like. Also, the language barrier is a little difficult here. Most people really don't speak English, and dealing with somebody on a watch, it can be pretty difficult. Even finding out how old the watch is or where they bought it, things like that, you may have a problem. So again, in Singapore and Malaysia, people are more likely to speak English, and you're more likely to understand what you're getting when you buy something. This is the Texpat in Saigon saying thank you all for watching, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.